It's time for some attitude.
Oh my God! You gotta be kidding me!
Featuring two guys who got the attitudes to match.
I'm not on your kid! Make yourself famous!
You're listening to the Bottom Line Podcast with Stevie and the Big Guy.
That's a lot of weight. There's 200-300 pounders up there.
And it starts now.
Episode number 9 of the Bottom Line Podcast. I'm Stevie, I got Big Guy, and we got some episodes of Raw for you. How you doing today, Big Guy?
Doing well. Almost episode 10. That's crazy. Double digits around the corner.
We're almost there. This is the first of many milestones for this podcast. So, I'm going to start off. We had a little bit of news this week. The King has got his suspension immediately lifted after having charges dropped from his domestic abuse charge earlier this month.
Wow.
Well,
Way
last month.
to portions earlier. You were dragging him on the coals.
You know, I thought that he was done. I thought this was going to be it for him. He had a history of some abuse in the past, or at least some subjectable character traits outside of the WWE that have made me thought that this was it for him, but he walks away clean again and right back on the road. So it actually sounded like it was a huge misunderstanding, and our friend JP said it was she was drunk and trying to drive, and he was trying to stop her. And if that's the case, I have to applaud the guy. I mean, he did all the right things. If he bruised her a little bit to stop her from getting in a car and killing herself, then by all means, she deserved it. That's what you got to do in that kind of situation.
It's a little harsh.
Not really. I mean, she was getting drink and drive, and she could have possibly killed herself. He's just holding her down. Bruises happened. It's not like he was beating her. He's holding her down, and it's causing bruises trying to get her to not go towards the car. I see his point of view from this one now. I don't see...
Yeah, if that is actually what happened, yeah, that's fine. But none of us were there. We don't know, so...
That's correct. And it could just be he has fantastic lawyers that were able to spin it and get it undone. But if that's the actual story, then I applaud Jerry the King Lawler for his character.
I don't hear you clap.
Okay, here. First ever applause on the Bottom Line Podcast. How about that?
Yep, well, that's never going to happen.
It just did.
No, I'm saying the audience, they're never going to clap for us.
I clap for us sometimes when I listen. That makes me part of the audience.
You're special.
I am. You know it. Alright, so we're going to start off with Raw number 175. 2 weeks away from the pay-per-view.
Yep.
Intercontinental title match, first round match. It's the last one of the first round.
Yeah.
Faarooq versus Savio Vega. Was there any chance in hell that Savio Vega wins this debut match for Faarooq?
I don't see a world where that happens, no.
And not only that, but no one... I mean, he is over. But I can't see how anyone is actually behind Savio Vega at this point. He just loses. That's all he does.
Yeah?
He is a glorified jobber.
Plus, Faarooq had Sonny down there, too. Anytime you got a manager in your corner, you got a favor there, so...
Yeah, and she was doing some great heel work here. I loved how she was pulling on the legs, and then, like, turning around and, like, posing to the crowd when the ref was looking.
Mm-hmm.
It was real... And that outfit. Dude, that outfit. Oh. You know you liked it.
There were some ringside shots that were pretty nice.
We need to just have her come out in this every week. It's better than the cowboy outfit, even though the cowboy outfit is pretty hot too.
I'll tell you what, it's definitely better than the microwave oven outfit she came out in later.
Wait, what?
It looked like the things that you, like, wrap, like, burritos around. That's what that actually looked like. It was, like, all shiny and silver, and it looked like crinkly, like, paper type stuff.
Yeah.
But very odd.
One gripe I have about this match, though, is Faarooq was doing a lot of headbutts with this helmet. The ref has seen him do this. How is this legal?
Well, I mean, that doesn't really look like a real helmet.
But it's still a hard object.
It looks like foam. It's kind of molded around his head.
Honestly, it looks like he's a character from Minecraft, if I'm being honest. Maybe this was the thing that the creators of Minecraft saw, the inspiration, and they're like, let's make Faarooq. If he were wearing a diamond helmet and a diamond chest piece.
I think you solved it.
I think I did. So Faarooq won a Dominator, which is his finisher. And then out came Psycho Sid to stare down Faarooq and have officials hold him back.
Yeah.
Are you excited for this second round matchup?
No.
What? I'm a little disappointed by that.
By my excitement or by the matchup?
The excitement.
Both. Both is the answer.
So do you have anything else to add to this match? It's actually a fantastic opening match.
It was pretty good. It really very solid. They gave it some time, let it progress pretty nicely. Had a good escalation.
Yeah, it had a lot of time compared to any other match in these two episodes.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's no way you think Vega's going to win, but they made him look decent.
He always looks decent.
He's not just a jobber,
Well, I said glorified jobber.
Okay, that's fair then.
They give him glory, but he still loses every match.
Yeah, alright. That's a good way to put it then.
After this, we got a little get well video for Ahmed. I thought it was hilarious how all the faces were like super nice. All the heels still had to be in character. Especially Owen's comment how he couldn't wait for him to get back so he could get him in the ring.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to take it easy on him. And Austin, I'm going to pound the earth kidney. But then we had King say, I heard he has to get, he got his donated kidney from Jake Roberts. And then he does his signature laugh and like, let's let this end.
Yeah. So you mentioned he said that last week. He says it during the video, and then he says it again in the commentary on the next episode. The exact same.
Yep. He's really pushing that joke.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is the same video from last week.
Oh, was it?
They just showed it twice.
Oh, okay. Speaking of showing things twice.
What?
They also show that Bob Backlund and Iron Sheik promo again, and they still cut it off in the exact same...
I know. It was like, why are we seeing this again?
Yeah.
It wasn't even that good the first time. Why are we... But we finally got to see who it was later on. But first, let's go on with this episode. Shawn Michaels had an interview. I didn't really see the point of this one. It really didn't do much for the feud.
No.
Kind of talked and said Undertaker was going to get his revenge. And he
right.
Come out
really,
victorious.
The thing that set up was the match between his manager and Jim Cornette, so...
Which we all just are dying to see.
Oh, yeah. That's the reason I'm going to watch Mind Games.
Match of the night.
As soon as that match is over, I'm probably just going to stop the pay-per-view, and you guys will have to finish it out.
That's awful. So next we had TL Hopper, your favorite, versus debuting Stalker. Man, what a trash match.
Yeah, this is...
Why in the history of the world do we have a wrestler called the Stalker, and they think this is going to get over?
Yeah, and his outfit is ridiculous. Camo pants, and he's got like camouflage paint across his face, and he's got like a shitty beard, but they still tried to paint it camouflage too. I don't know. It was just, and it was not impressive at all. They cut away from the match 2 different times to do interviews, so you knew that, even they knew that it wasn't going to be anything special. And then they try to hype up his superplex as one of the most perfect ones I've ever seen. It was the sloppiest piece of shit I've ever seen. Hopper even like steadies himself 2 different times as he's going over to make sure that he flips over correctly. I'm not sure whose fault it was, but, that probably on both ends because they're both crap, but...
Do you know who the Stalker actually is?
I don't even want to know.
It's Barry Windham, who is actually a pretty decent wrestler, but he was more known for WCW. And
Okay.
it's near the end of his career, so.
He's the one that's related to the Wyatts, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's Bray's like real first name or something. I think I remember seeing that before.
His brother-in-law is Bray's dad.
Okay.
So they're in family, but they're not like blood related.
Yeah.
Got it.
Uncle through marriage.
Right. There you go. So yeah, good catch on that one. I forgot about that. Excuse me for a second.
Popping a Steve Weiser over there. Can't even make it through a Raw without getting a drink.
It's a Diet Pepsi. I have to work today.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
Alright, so this match was terrible.
I'm
I
done.
didn't actually really pay attention to the match itself because it was just, I knew automatically this was going to be trash.
Yeah.
I did see the superplex, which was fairly average. And I was more interested in what they were talking about during the match. First, we had that interview with Owen and Brian Pillman about Brett, and Owen saying like him and Brett are on good terms now.
Yeah.
Don't believe it for a second.
But they're brothers.
Second, JR had to apologize about breaking the Razor Diesel story early.
Yeah.
Which I can only assume is part of the storyline because guess what? He kept talking about it after apologizing for it. The rest of the night.
Well, now knowing what's going to happen here, I'm thinking the apology and the thing with Monsoon was calling out because he said that Hall and Nash were coming back. And so as not to be in trouble with it, Hall and Nash aren't coming back, but Diesel and Razor Ramon, characters that they own, they can say that they're going to be back because it's going to be somebody else playing that character.
You're right. I forgot that WCW actually put a lawsuit out whenever they said they were coming back.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was official or anything, but I figured that's what it was about because they actually used their names. And
so, yeah, that's what happens. And then, for some reason, WWE hates us because we see another recap from last week. And it's another terrible interview, this time with King and Mark Henry.
Yeah.
It was like they're like, viewers at home, fuck you.
Yeah. You should have watched on Friday because we're going to show you everything from Friday anyway.
Oh, I forgot. That's probably why they were doing it. Then we had match 3, Crush versus, I didn't catch his name.
Freddie Joe Floyd or something like that.
Oh, Freddie Joe Jobber. Got it. Clarence Mason was on commentary. This was a pretty boring segment overall, though.
Yeah, he couldn't even talk into his microphone.
Yeah.
They would ask him a question, he would turn to answer them, and his microphone would stay over in his right hand. It was hilarious.
Crush won with a heart punch. No one cares about this. It was terrible.
Yeah, what kind of finisher is that?
The worst ever. I mean, seriously.
That's worse than the Superman punch.
You should give him, like, a backbreaker or something at least. Something that would look devastating from a guy that tall. Not a heart punch. You know, the only thing that I think ever looked good as, like, a punch was the Umaga's finisher, which was the Samoan Spike.
Oh, yeah?
Where he, like, dumped him in the throat. That's probably really the only good, like, punch that I could see as a finisher. And it's because they built it up so much. They didn't try to build up the heart punch, so really all we're seeing is someone getting punched in the chest. And then they're dead.
Yeah.
But anyone else that does it on the roster, they're not dead. So, come on.
Speaking of not dead.
Undertaker's not dead. What a great segue.
Thank you.
Wow.
Good stuff.
So we got Undertaker versus, like, undefeated Salvador guy. I don't know why he was undefeated ever, because he just looks like a Rick Martel knockoff.
And we've never seen him. Like, if he's really got an undefeated streak, why hasn't he been on Raw in the last 4 months?
Because he's been on Superstars, which is debuting on the USA Network now.
I know. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. I'm going to tune in tonight. They said it comes on Saturday, so.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that.
I'm going to watch USA tonight and check it out.
So, Undertaker won with a tombstone. And that was pretty much it per show. I mean, there was nothing incredible to this match.
Not really. I was pretty surprised that they gave him as much offense as they did. I mean...
He was undefeated. I guess they were trying to make him still look strong. Maybe they had plans for him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm just saying it was kind of surprising.
Yeah, it could be. So our first match on the next Raw was Jake Roberts, who we haven't seen since right after that pay-per-view. I don't think we saw him after that, right?
No, not on Raw.
International Incident, I think. So he comes on Raw and immediately goes after King, which is disappointing because that means they're still doing this. But, I mean, they have to at this point because King has not shut up about it. But he's facing the debuting Sultan. Do you know who the Sultan is?
No.
You know him.
Do I?
You do.
His face is covered by a mask. I don't...
You can tell by his eyes.
Are they dreamy?
No. They're scary.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. It's Rikishi, man.
Really?
That is Rikishi.
Wow.
I don't think you can actually tell by his eyes, but I was just going with it. So Rikishi debuts as the Sultan now. I think this is his second gimmick. He was also just about two whenever he was part of the Head Shrinkers.
Okay.
So this is their first attempt at a solo career for him. But I think this one doesn't last much longer after WrestleMania 13.
Okay.
And then he comes back as Rikishi.
Oh, really? He's been in that long as Rikishi?
Well, I mean, he doesn't come back like right away as Rikishi.
Oh,
He
okay.
eventually debuts as Rikishi.
Right. Like I say, I thought he was fairly new whenever I was watching back in like 99.
Yeah, I think he debuts like in late 98.
Okay.
Or maybe early 99, whatever. So Jake lost this match. King drew liquor in Jake's eyes because that.
Of course he did.
God, it's so pathetic, isn't it?
It is.
And then Sultan won with a camel clutch. Very stereotypical for who's supposed to be a Middle Eastern character to use a camel clutch. I hate that. They always do it. I hate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a decent move. It looks like the accolade that Rusev does.
It is the accolade.
Okay.
But he's also supposed to be, like, from that area, Bulgaria. So, I mean, it's not exactly Iranian or anything, but it's still sort of close. They always give it to those foreign characters. Muhammad Hassad, do you remember him? He was like a Iraqi wrestler. Right around the time when the Twin Towers happened, they had to drop his gimmick completely.
Oh, okay.
He did a camel clutch as well.
Oh.
Yeah, it's what they always give those guys. I don't know why. Rusev's is actually pretty good, though. I like his. Scott Steiner also did one as Steiner Recliner. The next thing we saw was an interview with Owen, Pillman, and Austin this time. I really hate his stupid mustache that he has going on. I hate it so much. And then we got to see your favorite again, the Pug, Alex Purdue, and Bob Holly versus the Smoking Guns. But we actually see an upset, and the Pug and Bob Holly win.
Yeah.
Owen distracted Billy Gunn, and the roll-up happened. I was very shocked by this. I didn't see it coming. Even though they were out there, I just didn't see them losing to a team this awful that just got thrown together. I mean, Bob Holly's a decent wrestler, but at this point, he's nothing. Nice.
Yeah.
There he is. I think we had a connection problem or something there. No?
No, I just didn't have any notes on this match.
Okay. Fair enough. So yeah, I mean, they won by a roll-up, and then now we're going to see Owen and Bulldog versus Smoking Guns for the titles at In Your House Mind Games. I guess to go with that feud that Sonny and Jim Cornette have been doing, even though Jim Cornette's apparently feuding with half the roster at this point.
Yeah.
It's funny how that happens. Speaking of Jim Cornette, he is in the third match of this card.
It's not a match.
It's a workout.
A workout.
I call it match-free-ish. Because it's not really a match, but he wanted to show off what he knew.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this is he's facing a jobber that we don't know. But the jobber reverses everything he does.
Yeah.
And King's like, whoa, what are you doing? This is not a wrestling match. But every time Jim Cornette did something, he's like, look at him do it. That's great. So eventually the jobber got upset and just decided to give it to Cornette and start doing his own moves without letting him even try anything. And Vader attacks him and destroys him. And that was pretty much it. But this is supposed to support that Jose Lothario match that he has at Mind Games, which everyone's excited to see. I mean, it's the marquee matchup.
I'm going to watch it as soon as this podcast is over. I can't wait.
I mean, you're allowed to.
I know. I didn't want to jump ahead, but as soon as this podcast is over, we're on the next week's schedule, and I'm going to watch it.
Fair enough. I love your enthusiasm. I'm sure you're being completely real with this, too.
Why wouldn't I be? I have nothing to gain by lying.
Okay. With that said, here is the heartbreak of the night. Marc Mero versus Owen Hart in the semifinals for the Intercontinental title.
You forgot to mention the cheater, Marc Mero.
Oh, is he now?
He is.
He did cheat. You're right. But he
See?
only cheated after Owen tried to cheat.
No. He cheated.
So, it was a pretty good match between the two. I really enjoyed it. But I just have to feel, did you think Owen was going to win this match?
I really did.
So you thought he was going to have a tag team title match, and then the next night you thought he was going to get an Intercontinental title match?
Yes.
Okay. So I want Owen to win, obviously. I'm a big Owen fan, but I kind of felt like it was going to go to Mero just because, I mean, Owen had a tag team title match, right?
Yeah.
And the tag team titles are actually a pretty big thing in this era of wrestling. That's still a prestigious title. I mean, I guess it kind of is now again, but, you know, it went to a dumpster for a while where no one really cared about the tag team championship.
Right.
Because there was no tag team division. Basically,
And that makes...
Oh, sorry.
Just my theory was, like you were saying earlier, you almost always face versus heel. And I was almost 100% sure with the push that Sid's been getting that Sid was going to win this next match. So I was like, well, he's going to have to go up against a heel, so it's going to be Owen.
Ah, that's true. I mean, that's a stout theory, and I could see why you would think that. But he tries to use the cast. Mero blocks it, grabs the cast, and uses it against Owen, and that's all she wrote. Even though referee could clearly see the cast, he doesn't do anything about it. And Marc Mero advances to the finals. Do you have anything more to say about the cheater Marc Mero?
I'm going to say thank you. The cheater Marc Mero advanced to the finals.
So Marvel's pretty sad about this. Then we get our argument between JR and Gorilla Monsoon. I didn't expect this to actually become a confrontational thing. But JR got pretty passionate about this.
Yeah? I don't know. It seems like... I don't know. I don't know anything about it, obviously. I didn't read anything into it, but from my point of view, it seems like they're making him say this stuff over the air, and he doesn't really want to say it.
Oh, he doesn't.
But he knows that he's going to get called out, you know? He knows that the fans are probably going to revolt against this, so he doesn't want to, but he has to.
Right. JR was very much like, this is when he starts to become an on-air personality, and they're trying to find out what works for him. So they're going to try to make him heel first, and it's not going to work. I guarantee it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because it didn't stick. He becomes the face of the Attitude Era behind the commentary booth, with the heel being King.
Right.
But, man, I cannot wait until Vince McMahon comes back. Kevin Kelly is thinking of to join as commentator. It is horrible. I don't know what Vince is doing right now, but he needs to come back ASAP.
Yeah.
He even used Vince's line, "What a maneuver," and it was trash.
Really? I didn't catch that.
Yeah. I can't remember which match it was. He did say it, I'm like, oh, it sounds so bad coming from him. Which is crazy because, you know, it's just a line. But it just really bothered me. So, with that said, we had our main event Intercontinental title semifinals. Psycho Sid versus Faarooq. You thought Sid was going to win.
I really did, yeah.
I definitely thought Faarooq was going to win because he's new and it would be fitting for Ahmed Johnson to come back and face Faarooq for the Intercontinental title. Like they were previously supposed to at SummerSlam. So
that makes sense.
I had Faarooq win.
Yeah.
And he did, by DQ. Sid had to use the chair. Really the only thing I liked about this match, there was one move. Faarooq got on the top rope and jumped at Sid, and Sid called him for a power slam. And it looked awesome.
Yeah.
But everything else to this match was just not good.
Yeah. And they're calling him the Kidney Crusher now?
Yeah.
Like he was really focusing on hitting him in the back and stuff. He's like, oh, he's going after his kidney just like you did for Johnson. Oh my God. He's the Kidney Crusher.
Apparently, they really tried to use this freak accident that happened to Ahmed Johnson as an excuse to get Faarooq over.
Yeah.
When really he had nothing to do with it, but they just wanted to make it seem that way.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have picked Owen versus Faarooq, but that won't really work because they're both heels. But I just don't like Sid. And I don't want... A Sid versus Owen match would almost certainly be Sid winning.
Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to it, but that's what I thought was going to happen.
Hold on, I'm going to pull up Mind Games card real quick, and we're going to do some predictions on it.
Okay.
Because...
You don't remember it off the top of your head? We just saw the preview for it.
I don't. I'm just looking it up real quick. Leave me alone.
Well, you're also going to look and see who wins, so you're going to predict all the winners.
Nuh-uh. I'm just looking at the card.
Right. Good luck finding that without the results.
Damn it.
Yeah. Busted.
No, I got it right here. I got it right here.
Phone down. We can figure this out.
Okay,
There's only
fine. Phone's down.
All right.
All right, first match.
Yep.
What do we have?
Cornette versus Lothario.
Okay. Who do you have winning?
Lothario.
Me too.
All right.
Okay. Do you think... How many stars do you give this match?
Half.
5.
Oh.
Not really. Negative 5 stars? Is that possible?
I don't think so. I don't think you can take stars away.
I will.
You're not a black hole.
Alright. Tag team title match. Owen and Bulldog versus the Smoking Guns.
It's time for a change.
I think I agree with you. I think it's time for tag team champions to be passed on to Owen and Bulldog.
I think so. I think it would really work. Cornette's got to have some kind of a victory in his club, you know?
He really does. I mean, he's
losing a lot.
He is losing a lot. And honestly, it would be great for the Smoking Guns to get off the marquee. They've been champions pretty much since we started the podcast.
Yeah.
They had a good run. This is a legit tag team that could beat them. And you got Bulldog, who was main eventing a couple months ago. You got Owen, who should be main eventing, but isn't.
Yeah.
And then you got the Smoking Guns, which, I mean, you got Billy Gunn, who is amazing, but
right.
They're not going to push on him. And you got Bart Gunn, who's crap.
Yeah.
Wins the free-for-all. Spoiler alert. So yeah, I got Owen the Bulldog.
Okay. Goldust Undertaker.
Ooh.
Final curtain match.
I gotta go Undertaker here. He needs a victory.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I'm gonna go Goldust.
Okay. Alright, King versus Mark Henry.
I mean, this is Mark Henry's first ever match. And he's an Olympic gold champion.
Yeah, I would go with Mark Henry, easily.
Yeah.
Alright, Shawn Michaels versus Mankind.
I'm going HBK.
I mean, you have to. You know when his first title reign was.
Yeah.
But it's fun to pretend.
And it could be Mankind winning.
That's true. He can win by DQ. Or
Yeah.
timeout.
Yeah. You want to change your mind?
No, I'm going to go with Shawn Michaels.
Okay, yeah, I am too.
Do you think there's any more matches?
I think that's it, right? That's all they advertised, anyway.
Yeah, that's true. They probably add a match or two.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, I think that's the end of our episode, unless you got anything else to add.
No, I don't think so. Pretty solid Raws this week, though. I enjoyed them both.
Yeah,
Overall.
they were decent.
Moments that were good, but I think overall they outweighed the bad.
Yeah, they're better than what we have seen the last couple weeks for sure. I mean, I like the Championship Friday, but that was kind of a special episode.
Yeah.
I at least like from main event. Anyway, yeah, I mean, they're pretty solid. A lot of jobber matches still, but they made better use of them than they usually do, I guess.
Yeah.
And we got to see pretty good openers, at least for the first one. So yeah, pretty solid. I'm ready for Mind Games.
I am too. And it sounds like Ricky's going to be back from his vacation. He might be joining us next week for the pay-per-view edition.
Sweet. Sounds good. Ricky from the SummerSlam pay-per-view podcast. In case our listeners are curious who Ricky is.
That's true. We could have a first-time listener here that would not know.
That's true. So if you want to listen to Ricky before next week, go back to the SummerSlam episode here on iTunes or YouTube. Shut up, Surrey. And you can listen to him before next week.
Cool.
Alright. You got anything to add?
Nope.
Alright. Then let's, why don't you give us the end tag this time? I always end it. You end it.
All right. See you next week.
Because you do, and that's the bottom line. Because we said so, you just go, alright, see you next week.
I didn't know what you're talking about.
I'm leaving those in the podcast, by the way. That was awesome.
That's your line. You're supposed to say it. I thought
I'm giving it to you this week.
I thought you were asking me for my line, and then you did your line. That's how we've been doing it.
No, you do it right now. You say it.
Okay. We'll see you next week.
And that's the bottom line.
Your line too?
I wanted you to end it this week. Yeah, I was giving you the glory.
Okay, well then you say we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
And that's the bottom line. Because I said so.
Oh, you said so.
Thank you for listening, and make sure to tune in next time to the Bottom Line Podcast with Stevie and the Big Guy.